Well, hello and good evening and welcome to this PSR TV presentation of Formula SimRacing's World Championship Round 1 at Bahrain at Sakhir, and you joined us just in time to see the cars start their qualifying 1 laps to break into the next session. And my name's Michael Lamb, and joining me later on hopefully will be Nick Rowland, but at the moment I've got Pedro Melim, also a driver in Formula SimRacing. He's joining me in the meantime, and he'll be doing pit reports later on in the race coming up. So Pedro, you probably have more of an idea on this circuit and mod than I would, as I was quite late to get the mod, but it all looks very good so far and the track's nice, and hopefully we can look at the twister car of Fredrik Nielsen, who's provisionally first on the charts, but he's one of the early cars to go around the track at the moment. But just in front of him is Patrick DeWitt, who is 13th on the rather jumbled up table at the moment. I believe he'll be the first man, or one of the first to set a hot lap in the faster than speed car. And it's all a bit of a calm before the storm, I think, Pedro. It's been a bit of a delayed start for FSR, as they were hoping for a game change, but it's not quite happened yet.
Thank you, Michael. But yeah, it's a good day for racing. You're seeing now the cars coming through on their first lap. First one to post to be on provisional for Fredrik Nielsen with 27.6, followed by Bono Hewis with a 27.6. Pretty close to field right now, but I expect to see the times dropping every time they pass the line.
Very much so, and Lee Morris has jumped up to 5th place with the GT Omega team. High hopes for the team this year in FSR has been following a bit of a reshuffle in the league, and a lot is expected to give rise this year, following fairly, I believe it was an average season for him last year in 2010, so the cars are all going out again. Everybody seems to be on their out lap at the moment. Nobody on a hot lap at the moment. Fredrik Nielsen, provisional pole sitter for 1:27.6. Bono Ruiz, champion of last year in 2010, is a shade slower by 32 100ths of a second, and then Rasmus Tally another 14 hundredths of a second behind him. So the times are very close, Pedro, and looking at the sheets, less than half a tenth covering the top 3, so again just goes to show how close things are in FSR as always. And you go to further down the field, less than half a second covers the top 8.
Yeah, it's a very close field between these guys. Remember, these are the top guys of probably in SimRacing. We're seeing some new names this year, like just outside the top 10 behind John Eric Saxon. I expect to see some good racing today. One of you is now passing the line to start another flying lap. Let's see how the champion goes.
Yep, so hopefully we can go on board with him. Pedro, you know the track quite well, so take us around the circuit here.
Now coming to T4, breaking down into second gear and accelerating on the exit, going into this twisted bit. It's a bit tricky. If you get it wrong, you can spin out. Now going into the hairpin, into second gear. Now this bit is a little tricky with a double left-hander braking while turning, and going into one of the 3 straights in this Bahrain circuit. Now going almost into the last sector, just the end of the second sector now, flicking left and right, going up the hill, braking and turning into the back straight.
Oh! So you've got to Pedro, but perfect now at pole, and Bono Ruiz goes into the final turn, and rather mediocre lap from the current champion, and he doesn't improve his lap. Unsurprisingly, over a second slower than poleman Kirchhoff at the moment, so he'll have to regroup. Anybody improving? Greco up to 5th. Jaakko Mikkonen. Oh, we've got Ala Ford just crashed off the track somewhere, I'm hearing. And Van Buren goes up to 11th still. DeWitt 12th at the moment, and he's in a bit of trouble by the looks of it. And we've got less than 3 minutes remaining left in this qualifying 1 session, Pedro, so it's all hotting up. Blair Disley coming out of the final turn in 15th place, and he stays there. A whole gaggle of cars coming out of the pits, so it's all hotting up down the back end of the field at the moment. Wayne White is making another appearance today in Formula Sim Racing. Kirchhoff again out on the track. Patrick Nilsson in 2nd place. He was initially in pole position, but he's improving his personal best and also a 10th up on Kirchhoff, his teammate, in Sector 2. In 2nd place at the moment, the Twister car with the red mirrors and the slightly different shade of the T-cam on it. And he's down the back straight. And he's improving. If he doesn't mess up the final corner, he should get provisional pole back. Not too bad on the exit. The lap will it be improved? No, he blew it in the final turn there, Pedro. He lost time. He was a 10th up on his personal best, and he definitely lost a lot of time there in the final turn, it seems.
Yeah, it seems he made a mistake and lost in the final sector the lap that could mean not the pole position yet, but at least secure for sure place in the second part of qualifying.
Indeed. Hopefully we can go to 8th place. Lee Mock, he's just starting another lap. He's he's got quite close to the bubble, so he can't really afford to rest on his laurels in this lap. Morang is 0.32 100ths of a second slower than him, and then John Eric Saxon is leading by 3/10, so you can leapfrog Lee Morris. So, as I say, he can't afford to rest, and let's see how he gets on with this lap here. He's a shade faster than Kirchhoff, so looking good so far for Lee Morris. Nearly 2/10 faster than his personal best in Sector 1. He swings it in nicely there. And as Pedro mentioned, this corner here is very, very tricky. You're braking and turning at the same time. Nicely done, doesn't lock up the brakes. Keeping it in second gear to avoid wheel spin. And he's going to brake here. Looking good so far from Lee Morris. And a rather just nice looking car after it from the GT Omega team. And Nilsson's gone faster. Frederick Nilsson's gone faster again. He's pulled a tremendous lap time out of the bag actually. Lee Morris is 3/10 slower than Nilsson in Sector 2, but 1.5 tenths better than he's been before in Sector 2, so that's the main objective for Lee Morris. Is now down to 9th. Someone's improved and jumped ahead of him. And what does that bring him? This is his final lap. He's 7th, and the session's now over, Pedro, and John Eric Saxon now on the bubble for the top 10.
Yeah, and I think there are a couple of cars still doing the final laps, and I think John Eric Saxon is going to cross the line to complete this final lap, and let's see if he improves and saves himself, or at least secures his place in qualifying 2 session.
Yeah, well, you keep an eye on John Eric Saxon, Pedro. I'm going to look at Blair Disley is crossing the line and he fails to improve, so he stays 15th. DeWitt, oh dear, he's desperately trying to get through to qualifying 2, but I don't think he's not gonna do enough. I don't think. A second slower than Nilsson in Sector 2, so not looking brilliant. Into the final turn comes DeWitt, gone faster than speed, but doesn't really seem to be the case today, Pedro. And he stays. He goes up to 13th, but not enough to get into the next section. And he spins across the finish line in frustration.
Yeah, I'd say Kirchhoff still on a lap it seems, but he won't change much because he's second and he got it secure for Q2. Yes, and the session is finished. We got our top 10 for the second part of qualifying.
Indeed, so the top 10 is Fredrik Nilsson and Atsej Kirchhoff for Twister Racing. Third is Bono Ruiz for Precision Motorsports. Fourth, Rasmus Tally for Mack Corp Racing. Fifth is David Greco for the sister team of Twister Racing. And then sixth is Jaakko Mikkonen. Seventh, Lee Morris in the GT Omega racing car. Eighth is Morgan Morand. Ninth is Mikko Puumalainen, and rounding up the top 10 is John-Eric Saxon. And just missing the bubble is Rudy Van Buren in the other GT Omega car. So a good effort though from the Dutch driver, and the two fastest speed cars, 12th and 13th.
Yeah, now this is the one that really matters, and let's see who can do a very good lap and take the pole position. Remember, this year it's one hot lap only on the pole position shootout, so you have to be careful, else you're gonna end up in a very bad position for the start.
Indeed, and if I'm not mistaken as well, Pedro, this is now with Parc Ferme on setups, so race setups, but I do believe that they are allowed to run with low fuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are. It's a low fuel, but you have to load your race setup. Means putting the radiator, the ducts, brake discs, and your tires for the race. So you're gonna see a bit slower times, but we still expect them to be pretty fast. I believe in 28 low or 28, if I'm not mistaken.
Very much so. So Bono Ruiz is going to be the first one to start his hot lap in this qualifying 2 session. As Pedro mentioned, 1 lap only, so if you mess it up then your history in this session. And Bono's coming up towards the final turn over the crest of the hill in his championship winning team, Precision Motorsports. He's found the final turn, and out he goes to start his hot lap. Let's see how he does. Start the stopwatch. Let's see what speed he tops out at the end of the straight. 187 miles per hour. He breaks down to a mere 45 miles per hour in turns 1 and 2, then 3. A little bit twitchy on the exit there, so perhaps the tyres are still not quite up to temperature, or the brakes. Then in the top gear again. Back down to 3rd.
Oh, that was a bit wide.
I was going to say, Pedro, rather scruffy there from the champion, so this car doesn't seem to be working very well. Do you think that's more the driver, or do you think the setup's not working at all?
Well, the team's had plenty of time to prepare the car for this first round, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, even with so much practice. But Bono is a great driver. I think I would expect a bit more from him, since he did things so perfectly last year. But we'll see. Now he's coming out on the back straight. Just the last sector to go. Let's see how he does in the last corner to cross the line to see a sign.
Indeed, in the final turn, flipping the curve slightly. To me, it's not a bad exit, but not brilliant. And he does a 128.5. That's quite a slow time in my book. Now we're just waiting for the next person to cross the line, who I believe will be Lee Morris, 7th place at the moment. He's actually slower than Bono Ruiz actually, so if maybe Bono's lap time's not actually that bad after all, but we'll see. Lee Morris goes into 2nd, and the next one to cross the line is Kirchhoff. He takes 2nd, so maybe Ruiz's lap is not actually that bad, Pedro. But 3rd is Morand. Nilsson going around the final, crossing the line now in 5th, and he goes fastest. Nilsson's fastest, and Pumalainen. Saxon takes 5th. Pumalainen is, no, he takes 5th. Who else is remaining?
Jakob Mikkonen now crossing the line and going P3. Very good time by Mikkonen.
Greco. David Greco goes 4th. So the only man who can spoil the parade now is Rasmus Tally from Mack Corp Racing. His time is not brilliant, but not awful either. So around the final turn he comes. Where does Rasmus Tally end here? And he goes 7th. So Fredrik Nilsson takes pole position for the first race here at Bahrain from Bono Huys. So maybe as that wasn't that bad after all. Teammate Jaakko Mikkonen 3rd. 4th David Greco. 5th Atsej Kirchhoff for the other Twister cars. 6th Morgan Morand for ATR Silverline. 7th and 8th Rasmus Tally and Mikko Pumalainen for Mack Corp Racing. 9th is John Eric Saxon, and rounding up the top 10 is Lee Morris, who didn't have the best of laps. Okay, so the race will be starting in a few minutes, and we're going to go for a break, so enjoy the sights and sounds of Bahrain, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, so welcome back to our coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix for Formula Sim Racing, round one here at Bahrain, and so we're moving to the race very, very shortly. The race director has made it clear there is no restarts, and I don't blame him one bit, which hopefully will make the people a bit more careful going into turn one and on the first lap in general. And unfortunately, Nick Cronin has not joined us tonight. I believe he's got a few problems with his PC or other problems, and let's just enjoy the race.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
57 laps around this circuit, surrounded in the desert area. Pedro Melim still with me in the commentary booth, and we're just waiting for the cars to form up onto the grid, and Well, we say that. There seems to be a bit of a mix-up with the grid. And they're just sorting that out, so all that excitement build up there has been put back calm a bit, Benny and Pedro.
Yeah, race director taking care of a few things that were wrong just before the race start, and we should be going in just about some seconds.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Right, so they've got the grid sorted, so the grid is forming up now. And they'll be beginning their formation up very, very shortly. Pole sitter Frederick Nielsen, cutting it quite fine to join onto the grid. He's still not on the grid yet. Incidentally, he's on now, so doesn't want to lose too much heat by sitting on the grid with the tyres getting cooler and cooler, and he needs to feel the way on the formation lap. Here, Bahrain from Bono Ruiz. So Bono Ruiz will be joining alongside him on the grid. Be Jakob Michelin in third. David Greco is fourth on row 2. Fifth is Axel Kirchhoff. Sixth, Morgan Morand. Seventh is Rasmus Tari. Eighth is his teammate Mikko Kumalainen. Ninth is John Eric Saxon. And rounding out the top 10 is Lee Morris in the GT Amiga car. 11th is his teammate Rudy Van Buren. 12th is Augustin Canapino in Faster and Speed. 13th is his teammate Patrick DeWitt. 14th is Jim Paris, apologies if I ruined his name. He's starting on the pits incidentally. Lucas Euler, 15th of Go Speed. 16th is Blair Disley, teammate of David Greco. 17th is Alain Porte. And rounding up the grid for 18 cars today, Pedro, is Wayne White. So there's an interesting mix of drivers on the grid here, and we seem to have lost Frederick Nielsen. Yes, we've lost Frederick Nielsen. Our pole sitter has disappeared off the server. That's a significant turn up the box.
Yeah. Maybe Frederick has got a connection issue or something like that. Very sad to see Frederick drop out just before the start of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely, so tremendous development already, and the Grand Prix hasn't even started yet. Here at Bahrain, our pole sitter Frederick Nielsen has retired from this race. So Bono Ruiz is now effectively our pole sitter. There's Pare starting in the pit lane. You see him coming down now. Just waiting for the grid to form up. It's taking a while, I must admit. And it'll be standard procedure with the formation of the lights. When the 5 lights go out, Grand Prix will begin. So here we go, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away they go for the start of the 2011 Formula Sim Racing season. And Bono Ruiz gets a good start. His teammate Mikkonen trying to go around the outside before they break into turn 1. And is there going to be any carnage? It's all seems to be quite clean. So we've got a spin now. I think it's Moran. Morgan Moran has spun down to the back end of the field now. David Greco third, right on the tail of Mikkonen. Going into turn 4. Van Buren has made a fantastic start. He's up to 5th place. Tarley 6th. Saxon 7th. And Mikkonen has had a poor start. He's still in 8th. Euler, a tremendous start. He's up to 9th. DeWitt made a good start at 10th. And Lee Morris, look at him. Look at Lee Morris. He's in 10th. Now he's jumped up a spot. But he's really hustling. He's hustling. That's John Eric Saxon in front of him. And just back onto somebody's running wide there. Kirchhoff, I think, was running wide. So goes through the left-hander, then the sector 2 is Hui, Mikkonen, Greco, Van Buren, Kumalainen and Tarley, who are battling nose to tail for 5th place. There's a lot going on at the moment on the first lap, as you'd expect. Looking down the further end of the field, not much is going on. We all seem to be holding station at the moment. So at the end of lap 1, it's Bono Hui's at Nilsson's demise. Then it's Mikkonen, Greco, Van Buren, who's made a tremendous start from 11th to 4th, Tarley, Kumalainen, Euler, Kirchhoff, and then Saxon. And look at that, that's DeWitt charging up the inside there. That was a demon late braking there, as usual from Patrick DeWitt, and he's up to 9th, but he did lock up his brakes tremendously there, Pedro, going into turn 1. And Saxon's coming back at him again. In the turn 4, they bang wheels, they collide. They do collide, and Saxon's come off worst. Oh dear. That was a bit of a schoolboy error, in my opinion, from John Eric Saxon there. He's been racing for a long time now. And how would you call that one, Pedro? And Canapino was slow. Was it Canapino or was it DeWitt's car? Both of them look exactly the same, so it's hard to tell.
It was Patrick DeWitt going. It ended a bit early, and John Eric Saxon made him spin off. But it's complicated to say, but probably Patrick DeWitt will get a penalty from that turning in so early and getting Saxon by surprise.
Well, I'll leave the race directors to call that one. I'm staying out of it, and so should you, Pedro, to be on the safe side. Lee Morris still in 10th place. He's on the tail of Patrick DeWitt. But there's a closer one going on. 8th place. Hopefully we can have a look at that. Lucas Euler versus, I'd say, Kirchhoff into turn 1. Kirchhoff has got the slipstream and the inside line in turn 1. They both turn in, and Kirchhoff's through. I'd say Kirchhoff up to 7th. Textbook pass there from Kirchhoff in the twister car, but Euler's getting a sniff at him and trying to come back at him, but can't quite find a way through. And Bono Ruiz is in his element. He's pulling away from his teammate Mikkonen, and the gap is now 1 second. Greco holding station in 3rd. Van Buren 4th. Tarley is 5th, and keeping Van Buren in close company, and his teammate Kumalainen also keeping him in close company as well. But closest battle going on at the moment is Patrick DeWitt and Lee Morris, 9th and 10th. And very, very close. 2 very hard races, and we have seen incidents of both of these drivers coming together in the past. And hopefully we won't see too much more of it, other than the fair pass. Lee Morris just jinking to the left there, trying to distract the Dutch driver.
It's always exciting to see these two drivers battle in every race, since they are very competitive drivers. I think we'll see a lot of racing going between them.
Yeah, I believe so, and we've lost Augustin Canapino. Not quite sure why. Hopefully Pedro can find that out. So a short race for the faster and speed driver there. And Lee Morris looking at the inside. He touches DeWitt. He touches the rear right wheel of Patrick DeWitt. DeWitt getting a bit slow through turn 1 and 2 there. Now Lee Morris is going to have a look at the inside here, turn 4. He be a brave man to do it. Levi's up the inside, can catch DeWitt with the slingshot on the exit. No, so that's DeWitt down to 10th place now. Levi's on the move and up to 9th. Now his next target will be Lucas Euler in 8th. A good pass there from Levi's. He played it well there, Pedro, and he didn't get flustered, and he just bit bide with his time, and he saw the opportunity, and he got through. So good for Lee Morris, eh?
Yeah, Lee Morris getting into 9th place. Good battle between those two guys, and seeing Agustin Canapino leave. He was on the end of the second sector. He clipped the curb, spun his car, and unfortunately stole his car. So it was a race end for him. And now Patrick DeWitt alone in the fast and speed car, the only man remaining on that team.
Very much so. So as the drivers complete lap 4, we're on lap 5 in this 57 lap race. And look at Van Buren. Van Buren and Tally were 4th and 5th. They've nose to tail into turn 1, and Tally really is trying to find a way through Van Buren, but he couldn't quite make a stick there. But he had a lunge up the inside, and up here again into turn 4, 5th place, 4th place. Will it be 4th for Tally? Yes, no, and no is the answer still. Van Buren really keeping his foot in it and making that GT Arena car as wide as he possibly can, and he's doing a fine job at the moment. But Tally knows he's got to get on with it, because he's got his teammate Mikko Kumalainen all over behind him in his rear view mirrors, and I think it's going to be a matter of time and of when and not if that Tally passes Van Buren. But up the front, who he's pulling away slightly now looks like Mikko Kumalainen is holding up David Greco, and these guys here, Van Buren and Tally and Kumalainen, not actually far away. Kirchhoff now seems is closing in on the mix as well, and just the driver crossing the line with Bono Ruiz leading.
It seems we lost Michael M for a short bit. I think he got a connection problem, but keeping on with the race, Bono Ruiz leading the field just in front of Jaakko Mikken and his teammate, and David Greco completing the top 3. We're seeing now a very good battle between Rudy Van Buren and Rasmus Salli for 4th and 5th place. And coming behind just Mikko Pomalainen, and just a bit further down the road is Arthur Kirchhoff will join them in a bit, I think. Now going into T1, Rasmus Salli going into the inside, and he probably will get that position from Rudy Van Buren, and he got it. And it's a very good battle now, and Mikko Pomalainen going, trying his luck on Rudy Van Buren as well. They are side by side. It's going to be tough for Van Buren to keep it, and Mikko Pomalainen got it, and losing 2 positions in just a couple of corners. Now this is a four train car, but the Marco Precision guys are just just picking up the speed and leaving them behind. And Hatakakov passing Rudy Van Buren, and it seems that this GT Omega car is losing some grip and is losing so many places, and Rudy must be very frustrated to see to lose that many positions in just one lap. You can see the standings now, and oh, Patrick DeWitt in 13th place, now spinning and almost getting caught on the sand and losing so many places, now in 14th place. Let's see what did happen to Patrick DeWitt. Just seeing now Patrick DeWitt going into second corner, just lost the back end of the car and went into the gravel. But, well, better just to almost spin it and not stall it. Now, seeing the closest battle between three guys, Lucas Euler, Lee Morris and Morgan Moran going into the first corner. Lee Morris going to try on the inside. And it's going to be a three-way battle going into fourth corner. And people banging wheels and almost spinning it. Lee Morris getting in front of Lucas Euler. Let's see if he can keep it. And Lee Morris had to PA. Fantastic battle going on here. Seems that the closest battle now, again between Lucas Euler, but now instead of Lee Morris being Alan Fott, there's a four-way train car beginning Morgan Moran and ending in Bled Isley with John Eric Saxon just a bit down the road. And I think we're gonna see a pretty good battle between those four guys in this next couple of laps. And Lucas Euler just running wide, and Alafort now trying to have a go on him in the fourth corner, and braking and blocking out. Lucas Euler running wide, and Alafort taking the place, and is up now to 10th place. But Lucas Euler not giving up and going into the airpin, trying to get him on the cutback. Oh, side by side, going into the double left corner. It's going to be tough. Very close battle between those guys. Lucas Euler now on the slipstream. Let's see if he can get speed enough to pass Alafort. Braking late. Yes, he did got it. He's gonna keep it, I think. Going up the hill. And Lucas Euler again in 10th place. And Alafot now being threatened by Bled Isley, the Too Fast For You racing car, the green and yellow one. Bled Isley now on the slipstream, fighting for 11th place with Alafot. Let's see, going into T1, he's gonna try have a go, but thinks twice and backs off. And the order will remain the same for a bit more, but John-Eric Saxon getting a good speed. And oh, Bled Isley committing an error, running wide and almost losing the position to John-Eric Saxon. Sorry to our viewers, we're having some technical issues around here, but I'm back again to commentary, and we're seeing now the battle for 8th and 9th place between Lee Morris and Morgan Moran, and Morgan Moran now passing Lee Morris on T1 for 8th place, but Lee Morris not giving up and going into the slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be enough to pass on T4. Very close battle between those two guys. I'm gonna go through the field as Bono Hughes entered the second sector, approaching the second sector. Bono Hughes on first position, followed by Jaakko Mikkonen by Precision Motorsports. David Greco just behind Mikkonen for third place in the Too Fast For You car. In fourth place, Rasmus Ali from McCorp Racing. In fifth, Mikko Pomalainen from McCorp Racing as well. In sixth, Ate Krekov for Twister Racing. In seventh, Rudy Van Buren for GT Omega. In eighth, Morgan Moran for AT FSR Silverline. In 9th place, Lee Morris for GT Omega. And rounding out the top 10 is Lucas Euler for Ghost Speed Racing. Seems that Onahue is being the current champion and defending it pretty good, considering that Fredrik Nilsson had the disconnection as well, but champion defending it pretty good and having quite a good speed, leading this Bahrain Grand Prix for now, doing a solid job in consistent times between the minute 32 mid and 31 high. There's not much going on through the field, but I see now Blade Disley fighting for 10th position, 10th position with Lucas Euler and passing him in the main straight. But Lucas Euler trying to defend and side by side going into turn 2. Oh, Lucas Euler span it. Lucas Euler span it and is trapped in the gravel. Let's see if he can get out of it. And he did, but he lost a couple of places and is now in 14th place. And his engine is smoking a bit, so let's hope he can continue. Yes, it seems it's still a bit smoky, but I think he can hold on to it. And Lucas Euler being in so many battles, but not having the best luck now and spinning his car. And the field now is pretty much spread out. We don't see many close battles. Everyone seems to not mess with any drivers. But it seems the closest one still between Lee Morris and Morgan Moran for 8th place. Lee Morris trying to get Morgan Moran that had a very bad start and spun just in the first corner of the first lap. Morgan Moran that is driving for Silver Line this year. Bonahue is keeps stretching his lead even more now. 3.3 seconds in front of Jaakko Mäkinen. It's not much, but it means that he's still in front. Jaakko Mäkinen for leading, not leading, but getting the 1-2 for Precision Motorsports right now, with David Greco just behind him. The Italian trying to get his car, and locking up, going into T1, almost spinning the car around, fighting and trying to get Jaakko Mäkinen for second place. And this year it seems it's even harder to get past the car. Greco that last year didn't have the perfect season, but seems that has the pace this year to fight for wins and probably the championship. And being a very, very good driver for a long time in FSR already. David Greco seems he's really pushing for the money, doing the fastest lap on the last lap, being at 31.6, and he's really pushing the car, trying to get Jaakko Mäkinen. And so far so good. Only 2 drivers retired from the race, being one of them Wayne White didn't complete the end lap, and the other Augustin Canapino with a stalled engine. We expect the pit stops to start occurring now or in a couple of laps. If these guys are using softs, they will happen in just a bit. Again, to our viewers, sorry for the trouble, but we are having some technical difficulties with the broadcast and the commentary booth.
Right. Apologies for the technical problems we've had here in Bahrain. The extreme heat is certainly playing havoc with all the electrics here in the commentary booth, and is also ruining my internet connection as well, so I'm back. But I'm also commentating through not the best screen at the moment, so I'll do the best I can. And Pedro's been keeping me well informed of the action, and hope he's been filling in well. Rasmus Tally in 4th place. He's currently got the fastest lap of the race. And Bono Huiz and Jaakko Mikkonen still having a position 1-2, and Rasmus Tally 4th, and he's just pulling away slightly from his teammate in 5th, Puumalainen, and just having a look down the field. Lee Morris is now running in 9th, and Patrick DeWitt is also showing some pace as well. He's down in 14th place at the moment, so not going particularly well for him. We're down to 15 runners, so not the best finishing record at the moment. We've lost a few drivers already, and I believe we had a couple of pit stops already as well, Pedro.
I don't think that there have been any stops. It seems that everyone is using medium tires, lasting for 23 laps, so we expect them to do one stop only, and I think they should be coming in about 3 to 4 laps, maybe 5, and then to do the second stint and final stint for this 57 laps Bahrain Grand Prix.
So Bono Huiz leads on lap 25 of this Bahrain Grand Prix. So we're looking back from Jaakko Mikkonen at the moment. He's being kept close company by David Greco in the Too Fast 4U Twister Racing Harder sister team to Twister Racing, and following the demise of Fredrik Nielsen. None of them are running that high up at the moment, apart from David Greco. I'd say Kirchhoff in 6th, and the other car of Blair Bisley is running down the lower end of the field. And Greco struggling to find a way through at the moment.
Yeah, and the first guy from the stop, 10 to pit. Nico Pomalainen in 5th place, going into the pits now. And Ate Kekov as well in 6th place. Very fast pit stop from Ate Kekov and Nico Pomalainen as well.
Bledisney's got the fastest lap of the race. He's, I believe he must have pitted a lap or two ago, and he's now up to 8th place, and he's come out in front of Pomalainen actually. So Bledisney has jumped up the field. So it looks like the fresh tyres is working in the favour of some of the drivers here. Oh, sorry, he didn't hit. My apologies, but the fuel load, I should say, is certainly working in the favour of some of the drivers, and the tyres are wearing in nicely. It seems, Pedro.
Yeah, and now with this first pit stops, probably more drivers will pit now, because since Ate Kekov and Nico Pomalainen got a fresh rubber, it means they're going to be a bit fast. And Morgan Moran spinning around and dropping a couple of positions, now being in 8th place.
Looks like he's not going again, but not the best of starts for the not the best of races for the ATR driver.
And very good start of the season so far for Rudy Van Buren, with a couple banging wheels with some of the other drivers, but giving a good fight with his GT Omega racing car in 5th place. With Lee Morris just further down the road. And Morgan Moran now pitting, and Bledisney as well, making their probably only pit stop if everything goes to plan. And with this few pit stops, I think more people will pit in. And now David Greco in 3rd place, doing his pit stop, and he's going to get a bit of advantage on this, since he's going to pit before the front runners, and probably he's going to get a jump on Mikkonen. And let's see how this pays off for the Italian driver. Let's see now if Jaakko Mikkonen will pit to try and not lose many time to David Greco, who has now the fresher rubber, and still to pit Bonnie Hughes in 1st place as well. Let's see how the Dutchman does his strategy. Both Precision Motorsports cars still to pit. And position 1 and 2, Bono Hughes and Jaakko Mikkonen now doing their scheduled pit stop, and I think Jaakko Mikkonen almost going with too much speed into the pits. Let's see if he gets any time penalty. And David Greco just going behind him, very close, and he didn't pay off for Greco, but they are still close, and I don't think the driver will give up on this one, and I think we'll see much more fighting. And oh, Greco getting very close, going sideways, and that was very close to not hit Mikkonen and not crash both cars out of this race. But certainly a very aggressive David Greco trying to push his car to the limit and trying to overtake Jaakko Mikkonen for second place.
So David Greco challenging Jaakko Mikkonen. So in third place is down the start, finish straight, and finally getting the problems sorted out in the commentary room. We're juggling through the cameras, on board with Greco at the inside. Whoa, the back wheels, and there's a lot of argy-bargy there with the Finnish driver, and it looks like Mikkonen has finished off worst. That one there, and Greco's up the second, so not a particularly clean pass there from what I saw, Pedro, so I think there'll be a few words said about that after the race, but we're interested to see how they get on, and we've lost Alain Fort as well. Yeah,
and very aggressive David Greco as we are used to see him, but having the inside line and pushing Mikkonen almost out of the track, but gaining the position. And very effective maneuver from the Italian driver, who is now in P2.
Very much so. So let's have a look at the further end down the field. Looks like Rudy Van Buren has got Blair Disley in relatively close company in 7th place. Looking down the timing sheets. Not that close actually, my mistake. Looking on the timing screen, Bonner Ruiz has just done the fastest lap of the race with his fresh tyres. So things are coming on nicely now. Rasmus Tally immediately going faster.
And still one of the remaining battles between Morgan Moran and Lee Morris for 9th place. Seems those two can separate themselves. Well, they have a couple of length cars between them, but still they are pretty close, and it's the most closest fight we have right now, it seems, since David Greco passed Mikkonen, and he is a bit further in the road. And going through the field now, we have Bonnevieux is still in first position with a gap of about 4 seconds between him and now second place David Greco. In third is Jaakko Mikkonen for Precision Motorsports. In fourth, Rasmus Halli for Mack Corp Racing. In fifth, Mikko Pumalainen from Mack Corp Racing as well. In sixth, for Twister Racing, Atse Kirchhoff. Seventh place, the rookie Rudy Van Buren with the GT Omega Racing car. In eighth, for the Too Fast For You Twister Racing, Blair Disley. In ninth, for GT Omega Racing, Lee Morris. Just behind him, in 10th place, Morgan Moran for Silverline. In 11th place, John Eric Saxon for Ash Aero F1. In 12th place, Patrick DeWitt for Faster Than Speed. In 13th place, Lucas Euler for Ghost Speed Racing. And being the last runner, in 14th place, Jim Parisis for Ghost Speed Racing. Right now there isn't any close battles going on with the field so much spread out. The closest cars are Lee Morris and Morgan Moran fighting all the way through the race for 9th place, around that 9th, 8th place sometimes.
So as we go on board with Lee Morris, just come off board with Lee Morris in the GT Omega car. Hopefully we can look back from him. We've got Morgan Moran breathing all over the back end of his car. He dropped back a little bit now, it was quite close. And the GT Omega car, so the gap is now just under a second. So Lee Morris seems to be eating away slightly, but it's not quite showing the pace that we're expecting from the English driver as we were anticipating in the pre-season. So but Bahrain's always one of those tracks where doesn't always normally reflect the ultimate pace of all the cars. Some drivers prefer it, some don't, and the team also set the car up as well. So I think from Melbourne we get a bit more of a truer picture. And to be fair, this Bahrain circuit is not a favourite of mine, Pedro. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's a very tricky circuit for the beginning of the season. In the middle of the desert, got a couple of straights to gain speed, but there's a couple of corners that are quite difficult. Being one of them, that double left-hander in the second sector, where you're braking and turning at the same time, and it's quite dangerous because if you miss it, you can run wide or even spin your car. But I think in a couple of next races we're going to see the true pace of these FSR World Championship drivers, since they started of the season is always difficult for everyone.
Indeed, and as we saw, Nilsson, who retired on the formation lap, actually, as the demise of him, but we certainly don't expect anything less from Twister Racing and being up the front. His teammate, I'd say, Kirchhoff's running 6th at the moment, so doing an admirable job, but doesn't quite have the ultimate pace of his teammate Nilsson, it seems. As he just goes around turn 9 there, so seems locking the brakes up slightly. We'll go on board with him. Looking quite tidy, but also just not quite fast enough today for the challenge for the win.
was a shame to see Frederick Nilsson really to disconnect on the formation lap. I think he would have a shot of winning this race. Probably see a very nice battle between him and Bono Hewis for the win. But I think we will have to wait till Melbourne for that to happen. For now, we see not any longer 1-2 for precision, but still a very good performance from Precision Motorsports with 1 and 3 positions, getting positions on the top 3 for now, and with the Mark Corp cars in 4th and 5th position with Rasmus Salling and Nico Melim.
So 9th place, Lee Morris is being challenged by Morgan Morand. The battle for the final points paying positions here in Formula Sim Racing, and Morgan Morand, as we go on board with him now, following a spin. That's how he felt behind Lee Morris. So he's looking to make up ground now against Lee Morris, and we'll keep an eye on this one. And it's one of the closest battles on the track at the moment. But Lee Morris is quite a hard charging driver, and we'll think it'll take some doing to get past Lee Morris, Pedro.
Yeah, it'll be for sure. Morgan Moran doesn't have the easiest task now, and this mod, as I said before, it's really difficult to overtake someone. With Lee Morris being a very aggressive driver, that's going to be twice as hard for Morgan Moran, but anything is possible. I think if he can really put his car right on his gearbox, it will be possible to pass him, but for now he's holding on in 10th place. Yeah.
And 7th place, Rudy Van Buren, and Blair Disley is pulling the hammer down following his dismal qualifying performance. And we're on board with the Australian driver, and it looks like he's still with Formula Sim Racing, and he's sorted out. Remember in one season had a lot of internet problems, and it looks like that's cured now, so looking to move forward from that. But Bono Hewis still leads out in front in 1st place, as we stay with Blair Disley. You can see the undulations of the track here, all on board with the Australian driver. And coming to the end of the lap in the final turn. We're all getting a bit twitchy down the exit, so Disley really pushing on, but just can't quite find a way by at the moment. But he pulls out and jinks to the left, trying to distract Van Buren, but he's too far back to do anything about it.
Yeah, but Leslie coming towards the end a bit fast and trying to get into 7th place, a couple more points for him. And I'm happy to see Rudy Van Buren with such a good performance. A couple of errors from this driver, but still a strong performance for the first World Championship race, don't you think, Mike?
Very much so, and he had a brilliant start, and he's ahead of his teammate Lee Morris, having qualified behind him, so he may well be one of those drivers who needs to work on his qualifying pace, but his race pace is certainly there, and I don't think Lee Morris will be too happy about that, and I'm sure Lee Morris will be brewing up with the reasons why he was slow in this race. And so with Blair Disley still. Can't quite find a way by Van Buren at the moment. Still got 20 laps to go, so anything can happen. And it usually does in FSR. So they break up the inside.
They are about the same pace right now, but Blair Disley taking advantage of the slipstream and being just 1/10 of a second faster, and probably is going to get a lot closer in the next couple of laps and maybe try to get the go into 7th place Rudy Van Buren.
Indeed, so we'll keep an eye on that. And no real close battles at the moment, apart from this one here. Everybody in the top 3 seems to spread out now. And we'll keep an eye out to the end. Blair Disley right on the gearbox of Van Buren, and Van Buren feeling the heat now. He's moving to the left, to the right to defend. Disley pulling out to distract Van Buren, forcing him into a mistake, but Van Buren knows better than that. And on to the start-finish straight. Disley has got the slipstream. It's not that easy to pass in these 2011 cars, but he's certainly got the slipstream. Then he ducks out. We're on board of him, and he ups the inside, and he's going to do it. Is he? He outbrakes himself. Does he? Can he keep it together? And yeah, Disley's through, so quite late braking I think Blair Disley, but he's pulled it off. Van Buren now down to 8th, and he's trying to come back at Disley, but they seem to be falling a bit short at the moment of pace.
Yeah, Blair Disley having a very wide line in T1, braking very late, but it was enough to pass Rudy Van Buren for 7th place, and good performance from Blair Disley towards the descent of the first round of the FSR World Championship.
Very much so. So Bonahuis now leads 4.1 seconds from David Greco in the Twister sister team car, and then Jaakko Mikkonen now down to 3rd, Carly 4th, and Puumalainen 5th, Kirchhoff 6th, Blair Disley now up to 7th as we saw, 8th Van Buren, 9th Lee Morris, still ahead of Morgan Morand, so everything holding station at the moment.
Yeah, and it seems that Atte Kirchhoff is now getting pretty close to Mikko Puumalainen. There's still a bit of a gap between them, but Atte Kirchhoff getting a bit faster towards this end, and I'm sure he will try to have a go in Mikko Puumalainen if there is a chance, and perhaps improve his position even further. Getting sideways on a double left, almost spinning his car, but holding it. Lost a bit of time there.
He did, getting a bit scruffy, and hopefully he can regain from that and gain the time later on in the race. Back with Van Buren in 8th. He's still keeping fairly close company to Blair Disley, so it's not all over yet, so anything can happen. We're on lap 42 of this race. Rasmus Tali, the new fastest lap from him, so times are starting to tumble down, and still with Van Buren, who's 8th, a second separating the two drivers. And
now Bonahue is getting a bit of a traffic now, almost reaching the last man on the track, Lucas Euler, I believe. Yeah, it's Lucas Euler. Bonahue is almost, I think in a couple of laps will pass Lucas Euler. A pretty short field for the first race of the championship, don't you think, Michael?
Yep, so yeah, it's not the biggest field, but as long as you've got quality drivers, that's the main thing in any league. But I believe as the season goes on, they're working on getting a couple of more teams in to generate interest, and hopefully we'll see some new teams and drivers for the next race in Melbourne. And Melbourne's always a circuit people enjoy watching and driving around in, so I think we watch this space and hopefully we'll see over 20 cars in Melbourne.
And it seems that Bonahue is with this pace probably is going to win first race of the championship. Plus there's still a couple or some laps to go, around 13, 14 laps to go. Let's see how this pays off for the reigning champion, Bonahue.
New fastest lap from Atsay Kirchhoff in 6th place, so the fuel loads are dropping and so is the lap times. So Atsay Kirchhoff taking the honours from Rasmus Tally at the moment. Lee Morris, you can see that only the 10th fastest man, now the 11th fastest man, as the Saxons have bumped him. So Lee Morris really off the pace in today's race, Pedro, and not what we're expecting, as Lee is a quick driver and he's won the Monaco Grand Prix in 2009, but today he seems to be falling quite short.
Yeah, a difficult start of the season for Lee Morris, GT Omega Racing car, but I think he will try and push himself for the next races. I'm sure he is motivated to improve his pace and to win more races, like he proved in 2009 on winning that Monaco Grand Prix.
Yep, so in that race, in his words, he owned Roy Colby, who won the championship that year, but that was the only race that he did beat him, and Roy Colby went on to win the championship. Rasmus Tally redoes the fastest lap of this race, so it looks like the trading fastest laps with Atsay Kirchhoff at the moment.
Yeah, and I just watched Atsay Kirchhoff is really pushing the car into the limit, going into the last corner, almost spinning his car, trying to get as much as he can towards the end to see if he still can catch up with Mikko Pomalainen and pass him for 5th place.
Well, it's certainly doable. The gap's only 1.3 seconds, so it's not over until the checkered flag falls in this race, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on following the demise of the Disley and Brewer battle. And we've lost Lucas Euler, it seems, Pedro, so the retirements are now coming in slowly.
Yeah, and it seems that Lucas Oil has blew his engine. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check to see. Yeah, and it's confirmed. Lucas Oil has exploded his engine, and it's race over for Lucas Oil on lap 44. And it's a shame that did happen. But, well, it's racing, and these things sometimes happen. And there's a battle for 13th place, 12th place, I mean, between Patrick DeWitt and Jim Parisis.
Indeed, Ghost Speed versus Faster Than Speed. Both of those teams don't seem to be carrying too much speed today in today's race, not troubling the top end of the field at all. And David Greco's got the fastest lap of the race. The first man to be under the 1 minute 30s, Pedro. So the fuel goes down, the laps are coming down as you'd expect. Well, that's the first one under the 1:30 mark. And DeWitt really hustling that Faster Than Speed car, trying to eke out that extra mile per hour. Then Jim Paris is in front of him. And we've seen time and time again, DeWitt's very late on the brakes, but he's too far behind to do anything here into turn one. But I think DeWitt will find a way through soon. Now Bono Ruiz immediately sets the new fastest out of the race. 29.6.3, sorry. Tali, again, now improving his lap time. He's the second fastest lap time now. Lee Morris has improved up to 9th in the lap time standings, so showing a bit more speed as the fuel going down, but too little too late, I think. And DeWitt now really charging on and really trying to find the tiger in his tank, and up the rear of Paris, very, very close, getting the power down, up through the gears. We're on board with the Dutch driver, so spectacular footage coming from him. He ducks out, almost running into the back of Paris there, and he's up the inside, side by side with the Ghost Speed driver, and it's still side by side, nearly banging wheels at over 150 miles per hour. And he has to duck back, and he dives up the inside into the penultimate corner, and DeWitt's through. No, he's not through. The Paris has gone back through again, and it's going to the inside. No, he has to fall back on the last corner. Down the start finish straight for DeWitt. We've seen him, he's quite fast down the straight, and he's got the toe. He's closing, he pulls out. Paris just defends the inside, and rightly so. And he's moving back, trying to cut DeWitt off. DeWitt taking the wide line. Now up the inside. Can't find a way through. Now he's going to have the inside line, or try to get the inside line for turn 4. He's pushing through. Squeezes Paris out. And he's going to hang him out to dry, is he? Yes, but Paris is really sticking his foot in there, and he's still staying ahead of Patrick DeWitt. This is probably the most exciting battle we've seen all this race, and I hope it carries on for a little bit longer. We've got 10 laps of this Bahrain Grand Prix to go. And DeWitt, he's going to start to get frustrated now. Hopefully he will learn from his previous mistakes in other races and getting flustered. And hopefully we can go back on board with one of these drivers. It's always spectacular to watch them racing. And we're back on board now with Patrick DeWitt.
Yeah, very exciting battle between these two drivers. And Patrick DeWitt not giving up for sure. We know how he is, and he fights till the end for sure. And getting on the slipstream on the back straight. And not enough yet to pass, but he's going to get a good go now on the main straight. Paris is already defending on the beginning of the straight, but Patrick DeWitt going for the inside. They are side by side, banging wheels. Whoa!
Actually, like you say, Pedro, they're banging wheels. They bang twice down the straight, and Paris is around the outside. And he's retained the place, Mickton, and now sets the fast lap of the race. We're on board with DeWitt. The bang wheels again. side by side going into turn 4, almost. DeWitt hanging around the wider line, they bang wheels again. Where is Paris's? And DeWitt's through.
Yeah, it seems that Paris went too much on the throttle and almost spun his car, but I think he won't give up on that one. There's a couple more laps to go, and there's still time, plenty of time to overtake DeWitt for 12th place.
Well, that was the most exciting battle we've seen so far. Now seemingly over, but as Pedro says, anything can happen yet. And where are we at now? Rudy Van Buren shadowing Blair Disley. And this battle hasn't died, has it, Pedro? Disley got past, but Van Buren certainly keeping him close company at the moment. And Van Buren might even find a way through in the closing laps of this race.
Yeah, perhaps Van Buren just saving the engine and will try to attack in the next couple of laps and pass Disley for 7th place. Anything can happen towards the end. Everyone spread out, only a couple drivers near each other, and seems this is the closest battle at the moment. But Blair Disley still has to be careful and not to do any mistakes, because Van Buren can overtake him right away. Oh, and Van Buren spins on the final corner and losing a couple of positions, now in 10th place, and that's gonna be a very bad ending of this race for Van Buren.
A shame for Van Buren there, as we're complimenting how well he was doing, and just got a bit too much curb on the exit of that corner there, and got on the throttle a bit too early, and really was no turning back from there on. But Van Buren now down to 10th, Lee Morris and Morgan Miranda got through, so now John Eric Saxon behind Van Buren. As we look at our race leader, we were looking at our race leader Bono Ruiz, but now we're looking at John Eric Saxon in the Aero F1 sports car. So 7 laps to go here at Bahrain. And do you think there'll be any changes to the field in the closing stages, Pedro?
Considering Van Buren was having quite a good pace, I think Morgan Moran should be careful, because he isn't that far away from him, and there's still almost 6 laps to go in this Bahrain Grand Prix, and it can happen. Van Buren can overtake Moran if he is close enough, but also John Eric Saxon behind Rudy Van Buren, and I'm sure Saxon will want to get the last position for points to start. Not the best way this season, but at least get a couple of points.
Indeed, yep. And we are looking at our race. Apologies for the technical glitches there with the image. As we mentioned, the extreme heat in the Bahrain desert really doesn't work well with electronics. So For the younger viewers out there who are doing electronics in college, then here's a tip: heat doesn't work well with electronics, so keep them cool as possible. Anyway, on lap 52 of this Grand Prix, and Bonahui's leading in the closing stages this Bahrain Grand Prix. It's been a dominant race from the reigning champion, and we don't expect anything less. And is that a smoking car in front of Bonahui's, Pedro? There's something smoking in front of him. It looks like something was anyway, but...
Yeah, it seems that it's Patrick DeWitt getting his engine very hot towards the end, and let's see if he can keep it up. But now Patrick DeWitt is gonna retire. He blew his engine, and it's a terrible way to start the first round of the World Championship season, and that's shameful to see a couple of good battles between him and Jim Parsons.
Indeed, so it looks like in the quest to get more speed out of his faster than speed car, it looks like he's pushed it too far today, and the engine has said good night Vienna. And incidentally, I was commentating on another race last night. Patrick DeWitt was featured in it, and in that race his engine also blew up as well. So I think Patrick needs to work on engine management tips to get a car to the end, Pedro.
Yeah, very bad weekend for Patrick DeWitt, blowing two engines in one weekend. That's going to be a record perhaps.
Indeed, and hopefully we'll see Patrick bounce back in Australia. It's always good to watch him on the broadcast. There's 5 laps to go here, and we're looking at Kirchhoff at the moment, keeping Mikko Puumalainen in close company. And will this order change at the end of the race? Let's stay with it and find out. Anything can happen. Lee Morris now up to 8th, following the demise of his teammate Van Buren, following the spin. And Morgan Moran has dropped back a bit now. From Lee Morris, and Disley on his own now, really. But Rudy Van Buren keeping Morgan Moran in close company, actually. There's John Eric Saxon in the background, shadowing them.
Yeah, and I'm watching now Atsay Kirchhoff. Very close from Mikko Puumalainen towards the end. This is going to be a good battle to watch towards the end. Mikko Puumalainen now locking up as well as Atsay. But yeah, very, very close in these closing stages, and I think we're going to have a very good battle for P5 here.
So, we're on board at Atsay Kirchhoff. Apologies for a bit of feeling a bit under the weather today. So, we're drawing to a close now with 3 laps to go. Kirchhoff, in his quest to try and pass Puumalainen, is not having much luck at the moment, but we'll stay with it and see how they get on. And not been the most exciting of races today, Pedro, but obviously with 3 laps to go, so, who would you say is your driver of the day today?
It's difficult to say really, but we need to give credit to Bono, despite Frederick not racing since he had a technical issue in the formation lap. But Bono was showing very good pace and not giving up his first position to anyone during all the race, so I think we need to give him credit for being able to do that.
Very much so, so hopefully we'll see Fredrik Nilsson bounce back in the next race in Melbourne. So sponsors, the SimSync we use to obviously regulate the mod and updating it, and PSR TV of course will bring you the live coverage of this race, despite the few technical glitches tonight here. But we'll be back for Melbourne, all fit and healthy, no doubt, and also as the makers of the mod as well, the FSR team is a reworked version of the 2010 mod. And Pedro, you've driven the car yourself. What's your opinion on these cars this year?
Well, yeah, I am a World Series driver. I actually did my race last night. Cars are pretty good. I got a couple of difficulties like everyone else. Cars are a little bit different this year. Tails are kicking a bit more than last year. It's a very difficult car to control, but a very fun one to drive. It's very hard to get him on the limit, but once you do, you are a very quick driver.
There you go, a view of Pedro Melim now in the cars, so general thumbs up there. So we're looking at Rudy van Buren now, who's still stuck behind Morgan Morand, and I believe we're on the final lap of this race. Bono Ruiz is making his way around his final tour now of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's pretty much been a lights to flag victory for the reigning champion, and really stamping his authority on the FSR tarmac scene, and really showing his quality racecraft. He's been in FSR for a number of years now, he's worked up through the ranks. I remember him being a World Series ace driver back in 2008, and he won that, and I believe he stayed in ace as well from 2009, and he worked his way up to WC last year, and here he is, and he won it. And this year he's going to start off this year exactly the way he ended last year, being the reigning champion. So on board of him, coming through the penultimate turn now. He's almost home and dry. Certainly didn't expect anything less from the young Dutch driver, Bono Ruiz. You're on board with him. He's going to weave close to the finish line, and he wins the Grand Prix. Bono Ruiz wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Second, David Greco. Third is Rasmus Tally, Jaakko Mikkonen, sorry. Timing screens playing up here. Fourth is Rasmus Tally. Fifth, Mika Puumalainen. Sixth is Aksel Kirchhoff. Lee Morris ended up seventh. Blair Disley 8th. Lee Morris is still racing. Hopefully we can switch to it towards the end. There he is. Now, did Lee Morris pass Blair Disley, Pedro? It was unseen by us. I'm sure he's passed him somewhere. And that's somebody rolling across the line there.
Yeah, it seems that I think Lee Morris passed him in T1. I'm not sure. I didn't watch it, but I saw Blair Disley. I think was short shifting towards the end, probably engine problem. But yeah, Lee Morris going towards the end, improving some positions, and Blair Disley finishing in 8th position. Morgan Moran in 9th. John Eric Saxon completing the top 10 in 10th position. a very frustrated Rudy Van Buren. I must say he was doing pretty good, but finished just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Jim Paris is for Ghost Speed Racing in 12th place, and that was the last runner-up. And we have a couple DNFs. Patrick DeWitt for engine, Lucas Euler for engine as well. Alafort suspension problems. Agustin Canapino stalled his car, and Wayne White didn't even start the race. And of course Frederick Nelson with a disconnection on the formation lap.
Okay, so that's the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix. So while we regroup, we're going to go for a short break, and when we return, we'll have some final thoughts from myself and Pedro Melim, and we'll see if we can find any drivers for interviews. We'll be back shortly. Okay, so welcome back to our coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix for Formula SimRacing 2011. So that's the round one of the World Championship there, and we saw Bono Ruiz winning in fine style there. And I haven't found any drivers or interviews, but I just got confirmation that Frederick Nielsen got the blue screen on the formation lap, so it's pretty rotten luck for the Twister drivers, so better luck for the next time. And Pedro, any final thoughts from you today on today's race?
Well, it was, I must say, not the best race to start of the year. Very short field as well, but some nice battles to see throughout the field, with Patrick DeWitt and Jim Parises, and also Rudy Van Buren, Blair Disley and Lee Morris as well. But I expect to see more in the next couple of races. But yeah, Bono Hugh is in a dominant style, winning the first round of the FSR World Championship in 2011.
Indeed, and also David Greco as well. He did quite well to finish second, and following a rather average 2010 season.
Yeah, David Greco coming on strong in this in this first race from last year. That it didn't go so well for the Italian driver. I'm happy to see that he picked up his pace and is now fighting for good positions this year. And I'm sure we will see more of him in the next couple of races.
Indeed, and thank you to our viewers for staying with us tonight through all the technical glitches, and hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage, and obviously a lot more action to come up on PSR TV tonight. Obviously more iRacing racing due later on as the World Championship Series of road racing, I believe, and obviously next race here at FSR will be at Melbourne, which will be next weekend, so at the same time and same place, as always on PSR TV. So I hope you enjoyed the coverage, and we're going to sign off for tonight now, as our slot is coming to an end. So thanks to Teo Bubicic, who's been doing the cameras tonight, and obviously Pedro Melim joining me tonight, and for myself, Mike Lamb, and from all of us here, have a good night.